Welcome, I'm Bill Wake. We're working on a set of tools for dulcimer players, in particular a metronome, and we spent at least the last session and maybe the session before just kind of struggling to get sound to come out and organize that. So I think we'll continue to struggle. I looked around a little bit on the web, didn't find anything too useful, but we'll see if we poke around some more what we can do. Okay, now to leave off... Well, I saw something interesting. We left off, we had this approach where we trigger the sound and we have a timer that periodically changes the play next sound variable, and that triggers playing the sound. So this forces it back to the main thread every time. Now, I don't know... I can't tell where the sound is playing as far as threads go, if it's really blocking while it does this. But I did notice something interesting in the output we had. We had a message to detect when start-stop view play sound print happened. I don't know where that print is, but we had one in there yesterday anyway. And I noticed we got this on occasion. So on change of the Boolean action, which I presume is this because it's the only one we have like that, tried to update action multiple times per frame. Now, I think the frame rate is normally like 60 frames per second, although someone said something about getting up to 90 under some circumstance. You would think that 60 times a second times 60 seconds in a minute would be 3,600 beats per minute. We shouldn't really hit that wall, but apparently we do on occasion. And we also noticed that the sounds that played weren't particularly well spaced. All right, so I'm going to modify this a little bit. Yeah, I think timer's not that exact. I don't know how we get a more exact timer. I mean, we need something, if we do 240 beats per minute, that's 4 per second. That's not, I mean, that's 250 milliseconds. That's not high precision stuff there. But our ears are very sensitive to being off rhythm. And so, that definitely is a factor. And I don't know if part of that is the timing has its own jitteriness, and then the frame rate has some level of jitteriness. I don't know if you can hit them, so bad they don't support each other, they fight each other, and then sometimes it's very short and sometimes it's very far apart, and like it's a slow one on this side, and the frame rate comes in and does it, and by the time it's ready to produce, well, the frame's gone, so it lost its chance. It's gonna have to get the next one. I don't know. I mean, 3,600 clicks a second. I mean, if you go, that might be 10 a second. You don't do musical stuff faster than that. 3,600 cycles is down into the low hearing range, maybe even to the middle hearing range. A440 is 440 cycles per second is the A that people tune to. It's kind of in the middle of the piano keyboard, middle-ish. We're not trying to generate that. So I don't know. But let me change our 4 to an 8 so we can have enough beats to count or to deal with. Okay, so let's see. Here's player. I don't think this is doing anything. I don't think we're calling player at all at this point. I think everything's being done in start-stop view. All right, so this is my attempt. So this is my attempt to get automatic repeating. So if we say play sound and we set play the next sound to true, that triggers the UI, and then we're sleeping half a second. And then we dispatch, when we wake up, we dispatch the next play sound round. Now, I don't know if we can... So when it's got a weird setup. So when this thing runs, it sets play next sound to true, which means the next time the UI gets a chance, it's going to have it'll notice that play sound next sound has changed, and will trigger that on changed method we had. And then this thing goes to sleep for a little while, and when it wakes up, it plays the other sound. So this thing, so it hits play sound true, UI thread next time around, triggers it to play the sound, comes back, sleeps a little while, and then puts the next sound in the queue ready to go. Now I think we can put a timing on this. Async and wait. No. I thought we could put a time delay on the async call. There's only 87,000 of them. Async. I don't know, is it called delay? That'd be helpful. Delivery of the timer may be delayed by the system to improve power consumption and performance. The upper limit to the delay may be configured with the leeway argument. Where is that? Leeway for the timer. Oh, deadline. Oh, deprecated. Schedule one shot. Is this one deprecated? Yes. Because that's what we want. Deadline, I don't know what wall time means. Does not cancel the timer. So it's the deadline at which time event will be delivered, subject to leeway and other considerations. Deadline is based on get time of day. I mean, near 0 nanoseconds. I mean, if they're telling us nanoseconds, that's promising. All right, let's dispatch source. Okay, submit will not return until the work item is finished. Async execute returns immediately after the work item has been submitted, never waits to be invoked. Well, I mean, it's not that we can't, but I don't know if we can control. Let me get the real documentation up. I don't know. If we made it really small, I mean, then we're basically loading in even more queuing events, and it's like that's gonna create more problem. Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably more likely that loading is slowing. I mean, if it really is loading every time, that's not terribly good for us. Okay, dispatch queue. All right, so I'm hoping to find, hoping to find a method that will send off an async event and put a time on it. Now this may be, okay. Execute, here we go, deadline. Right, so I can say deadline is now plus whatever. Quality of service. Okay. After wall deadline. So let's see what this one is. Specifying the current time is less efficient than calling the S. Do not specify value to distant future. The time. Specifying the current time is less efficient. Okay, I don't. Well, that's promising. Create a dispatch time unit. Now. Okay, so I think what we saw was now plus 0.05 somewhere. QoS user inactive. So I think we saw that table yesterday about like there was user interactive and default and whatever. User interactive is the highest, I believe. So let's go back and see if I can find that QoS thing. QoS. So I mean, I think we could try to do this. All right, here we go. User interactive, animations, events, and all that. User initiated tasks that prevent the user from actively using your app. I guess that's not us. Default, utility, background, and unspecified. So, I mean, I think I would try to get user interactive or maybe user initiated, but it seems like we could set those. Okay, so I guess let's figure out a way to move this forward. So, well, one thing is we said play sound is calling. Oh, that's not happening here. It's happening in Metronome view. All right. So did we play sound? Okay. Yeah. Let's get local state for this. State var. Yeah, really, I think it's proper to say private var. Sound 1 equals. I want to do prepare, and that's on subsonic. Well, let's look at the README. Yeah, this one, just prepare. Okay, so. Okay, so now, oh, big subsonic. That's right out of the example. Let player equals prepare sound. Instead to receive back an audio player. The key sound. Wow, we got some wind out there. I don't know if the chimes are coming through. All right. If you want to prepare sound, call prepare sound instead to receive back an AV audio player. So let's see if this builds and finds it, because it seems like it should. No. Okay. And does it find it here? No. Okay. So subsonic. I thought we saw it as extension view. Stop, sound, play. Well, there is no prepare. Yuck. Well, it's so weird that he suggests that. I guess that one's on the view. This one is the player modifier. What is this? Prepare sound low wave. Yeah, that's what I have. Oh, I didn't have sound. Okay. Okay. Is this on? Well, this is on subsonic controller. Okay, I might have to make one of them. Okay. I mean, the README showed something about that somewhere. Didn't it? Subsonic player. Well, maybe this is the way to go. State object. Okay, let's try it that way. Okay. And now sound1.play. Okay. Well, I don't think this changes anything. Let's run it and see if it's consistent to something. And then I think we'll play with the delay and quality of service stuff. Now, on those, it did seem like... Okay. Async after. That's kind of what we want. Dispatch time as opposed to wall time. The time at which to specify. So that's weird to me that these two seem a point in time relative to the NAND default clock. With nanosecond precision. So I don't get why now is a dispatch time then. I guess that's... Okay, that's dispatch time. The other one was wall deadline. The dispatch wall time, which has its own now. So how do you know which one you're getting? It feels backwards. We have to wait for the first event. Well, I don't know if it is or not. I mean, it should start as soon as we say go. All right, now. That strikes me as really weird. Okay, there's that error again. Well, it's 250 milliseconds. I mean, that's not... If you're talking about nanosecond precision, and we're talking about milliseconds and, you know, almost hundreds of them. All right, so I think this piece feels consistent to me that it's saying... yeah, put this debug in, but this is whenever the timer has triggered and the play next sound variable has updated, we do our thing. Okay. And so we get a trigger, we play one sound, we exit, and this clearing, resets it so the next person can set it. Okay. So I feel like that part, if it's going to be done in the main thread, that part feels like the right thing to me. Now, I don't get when you press the button, we say play next sound is true. Oh, that's a little, there's where it's two. Okay. Play sound. Okay, I think this is probably the first one, is why it's two bumps. But okay, because notice we don't have anything now to say only do 4 bumps. We're just saying keep bumping. So now I don't know if, well, okay, well, let's see. This to me should keep going. It sets the sound. Now we could probably put this in the async like that. Okay, so it sets the sound and then right away returns to play it. That's probably better. and then it waits to play it again. Okay. I think we'll do the dispatch queue thing and it'll work even better, but let's see if this helps anything. We should see more to print messages and maybe acting a little different, maybe not doing 2 bumps, maybe just 1, but 1 and then repeat is what I would expect. And I put the print in, so we should see the thing for that. Okay, so autoplay is trying to play it and not succeeding. Okay, and all right, and I'll stop. Did we have that message? We sure did. On change of tried to update multiple times per frame. And that was the very first. Play next sound equals true, play next sound equals false. Well, okay, so we should see them setting it to true. I'm liking this toggling less. Okay. Now let's see. So we go to play next, start stop. We set play next sound to true. We come in, play next sound is true, and then it's set to false at the end of that action. So this is in metronome view. Play sound is true because we just set it in play next sound. I mean, start stop view. It's true. It prints out true, comes in, plays, sets the value to false, which is detected as a change. He prints out I am false, and it's not true, so he stops, exits. Okay, that feels like the first cycle, and that he should have triggered a play with that. When it went true and then reset it to false. Then our autoplay kicks in, and the same pattern: auto start stop true, play next sound true, false. Okay, so that feels like the second bump. Now we get this message: autoplay, play next sound equals true. On change tried to update multiple times per frame, so it's like it came too quick for it. Should you only set it to true if it is false? Yes. But I think the only place that sets it true is that play sound thing. This. He sets it to true. Let's just make sure that's a true statement. Does anybody else do this? No, not even this one. Okay, let me fix the search. I wonder how many bad searches I've done with that on. Okay, yeah, there used to be another place, no longer is. So, yeah, I don't think... Okay, so, but... Yeah, maybe is there some path where this is coming in true? Okay, let's check that. Play next sound equals. Okay, the good news at this though is we got it playing once and then twice, then it hit that error and it was silent after that. So that error may be what screwed up the situation. Okay, so this is start stop view before play next sound equals that. I have no idea what would run that code in between. Well, I wonder if it's This is on the main queue. I don't know why it could. So I don't know. Let's try and set up the sequence of events. So we run play sound. Things are fine. It sets play next sound to true. Schedules the next tick, and then returns. The main thread goes to the next task. Is, hey, there's my UI. Look, on change is true. Play the sound, and then set the flag to false. The only way this would get in there like that again is if for some reason we interrupted that. That doesn't seem right. I mean, if we interrupted, if our time interval triggered while we were in that run loop thing, and yeah, I guess the sleep interval. Oh, well, that maybe we released the thread during a sleep. Is that true? All right, let's run it like this. We'll have the extra information, but yeah, maybe the sleep is doing it, that it's getting it in there. But I don't know. I thought you would only run. I didn't think these things got interrupted in their little time of running. I mean, if you sleep, yes, you get interrupted. If you spin off an async, in another thread, you might get interrupted over there, but not in your thread, I don't think. But, I mean, I have these impressions of how the Swift UI works, and sometimes they're not really accurate, but I thought you had the main thread until you gave it up. And that's the reason that we don't want to do stuff that takes a long time in the main thread. So, keeping it until you give it up doesn't sound like you'll be interrupted. So I don't know. But we'll see if that weird case triggers. Okay. Stop. Okay, so there's the normal one. Autoplay triggers the second one before is false. Nope, this one before is false. Now, maybe this. Maybe the problem is over here. Okay, so are we set this and we hit play, and then play next sound equals false. Maybe that's trying to trigger the next change, that it detected the change before. I don't know. I mean, another way to do this would just be, whoa, look, there's one. Before play next sound equals true. Okay, so I don't know how it happens, but it definitely is the case that we got called, our autoplay called in the middle of the situation with play next sound not having a chance to reset. So, okay. Well, I think maybe I should think of this as like a circuit that it is a transition and goes down. And if it's down, if it's up, it goes down. If it's down, it goes up. And we're just detecting the fact that it changed levels. We're not detecting which way it went. So let's, let's try this. So play next sound equals false. I don't want to care about the value. So if it changes, that's interesting to me. But let's take this out and let's just do a toggle in start stop view. We'll rename something in a minute, but now play next sound is coming into us, right? Yeah, binding. All right. So now we set it true, we set it false, but we only set it in this thread, in this routine. And so that should get rid of should get rid of that. I mean, it's really just, it's kind of a tick or a, I don't know, transition sounds funny. But it's like a clock where it says tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. We'll think of tick as true and tock as false, you know, or just true versus false. So I'm hoping to get rid of the error button changed in the same frame error. I don't know if we'll fix the problem. Oh, now how do we stop? Okay, well, that's great news. All right, we've got to refine our stopping. Okay, so start stop view. How does he stop? Well, he prints, I'm going to stop. Right. Okay. So I think we're going to divide this into two variables. So I think we're going to have a continue playing variable that stop will set to false, and then the scheduler piece will say, oh, you don't want to, if it's false, you know, only if it's true. If continuous scheduling is true, then we'll go ahead and do the schedule. Okay, so and that will be separate from trying to do it with the toggle sound button, which that wouldn't control it anyway. So yeah. All right, so I think that's a path. All right, so, oh, thank goodness. I was getting depressed about this. All right, so start, stop playing sound. Okay, so I would say we're playing sound repeatedly. This is more of a start. Playing sound repeatedly by running a self-scheduling timer. Okay, so that we do. Now, my theory on the threads is I think maybe internally that thing spins off a thread. Metronome sound versus threads. All right. So I think my suspicion is play spins off a thread to deal with the stuff. Now, I talked to my friends last night, and they were wondering if you needed to do anything to trigger the prepare in the thread that they're running the sound in. But I think at least my working theory is that is not right. So add a metronome running flag. Yeah, that's what I want is another flag that says, yeah, maybe it just should run or something like that. Okay, so, but I do want to do a slight experiment first. Let's try this with now plus 0.5 and dot. Oh, I guess I have to say what kind of now. Dispatch time dot now plus 0.5 and then QoS dot. Well, no, let's do one thing at a time. Okay, so instead of sleeping, let's schedule ourselves into the future. So we won't sleep the way we are now. We schedule it, and first thing we do when we wake up is go to sleep. Okay, which is a little weird. Instead, we're going to schedule it and say, hey, don't run for half a second. And I'm not sure of the differences here, but let's just read this again. I think wall time should mean like don't just depend on your clock. I don't know. Can we find it? Okay, raw value. He has a now. No, we're going to have to read it over here. Dispatch wall time. Okay. Now returns the current time. Yes, it does. Wall time, absolute point of time, according to the wall clock, with microsecond precision. All right, and then the other was dispatch time. A point in time relative to the default clock with nanosecond precision. I don't know. And they use the phrase default clock, so let's quote that. No, he's saying in relative to the default clock. Oh, that's this. Oh, I wondered about this too. Like, what if the thing goes on standby while it's ticking? Oh no, that's something else. Okay. Well, let's try this one. I hope it's useful. Trailing closure parameter to dispatch work item that does not accept a closure. Well, I think you're saying now plus 5 seconds, 10 seconds. I don't know if you can specify. I don't know how you get to the other thing. I'm also surprised there's not one that's just like not now plus, implicitly a now plus. Trailing closure passed to parameter of dispatch work item that does not accept a closure. Execute declared here. Well, why does that affect this? Okay, so we were doing this. Yeah. Okay. Let's make sure async has the method I'm thinking it has. Oh, is it async after? Dispatch queue. Async takes execute. Oh, there's async after. Takes the deadline. Or deadline and quality of service. Oh, and it only takes a dispatch work item. Okay, so I gotta say deadline. Deadline, dispatch time, QoS will leave off. Dispatch work item flags, don't know what those are. Execute. Async after wall deadline. It's so hard to understand what they think they're telling me differently. All right, we're going to try wall deadline. Maybe I can say dispatch time versus dispatch wall time. I should add iOS to that. Okay, somebody with my very question. Dispatch time stops when your computer goes to sleep. Dispatch wall time continues running. Okay, that is what we want. If you turn on the metronome and you go to sleep, I still want you doing stuff. Okay. Thank you. So this is wall deadline. We'll put async after. Okay, that eliminates the thread.sleep. Okay, we'll figure out where that's coming from soon. All right. I guess we'll keep the same markings. Yeah, I think they're both delayed from the current time, but the wall deadline is the current time in the system. Like, it is now 2:41 p.m. for me, but the other is after the current clock, whatever that is. But that clock gets stopped when you go to sleep, or probably other things that can happen. So this one will schedule. I think this one will schedule it to go no matter what. The other one will schedule it, but the timer won't start moving again until it's done sleeping. And so the metronome would stop, I think. So I hope that's all I have to do, because I would rather it did that while it fell asleep, but who knows. All right. So this should be doing the same at our 30 beats per second. No, yeah, per minute. Which is a relatively slow metronome marking. Some metronomes don't go below 40. Yeah, I think there's some other timer, and I think that timer probably diverges from the system timer. I was working on helping somebody with a program on Windows that had kind of that same issue, and they were trying to track the dates where events happened, and they had a few places that people hadn't realized there was this difference, and they had grabbed, what this would call dispatch time, and other places had grabbed the wall time, and you had these discrepancies. And they also found out somebody grabbed, there's a 16-bit or 32-bit timer version of things, and so every, I forget how many days or hours, this thing would crash because of that. Like, oh. Okay, that is still sounding good. Now, I don't know if I can put this thing to sleep. Oh, it stops anyway when I switch off. Okay. Oh, no, it doesn't. It screws up the timing a little, but okay. Can I force it to go to sleep? Really? Oh, no, we just read about that. Is there a setting for that? I don't know where control center. Okay, let me turn this down. Can I? How do I get the control center open? I'm not seeing that. Normally I flick in from the corner, but I don't see control center. Okay. We're down. Centers do not have control centers. Jeez. Okay. Okay. Swipe down the top right-hand corner of your screen. Yeah, that's what I'm trying. Coming from outside. Whoops. I think what they were saying was that it was blank, and so I'm seeing it, but not really. Let's see. Try it on my phone. I got notification center over there. I thought I got it on the bottom in my phone. But I'm running 16. Yeah. I don't know. Well, I can pop it onto my iPad and see if I can, what the behavior I get is there. But I think this is good. I mean, I think we're doing the play sound thing. So toggling that triggers the next beat. Okay. This does not need to do that stuff. It just needs to set play sound. I may take the buttons, go back to that slash thing. I don't know. Hardware lock. Is that this one? That's mute. I don't see anything that sounds like that. Action button. Okay. In the menu. Are you talking about this menu? I'm not seeing it. Okay. I can do that one though, you know, if I can't have that feature, it's okay. All right. Now let's add that toggle. I guess it's state as well. Is this being used by anybody? I think this is what we wanted to use. Yeah. Okay, is playing. I don't know if I can call is playing in here. It's device lock. Oh, there it is. Okay. Now what? Hopefully it unlocks. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I'm triggering it. The only one that triggers is this one. Well, even that's not doing it now. I don't know. Okay, so if it starts out false, we toggle it. If it's playing, play the sound. Otherwise, there's no reason to do anything, I don't think. If they hit the play pause button, okay, let's just see if this does it. So the hope is the toggle does the job. Yeah. All right. Well, if we're experimenting, let's do 4 beats a second is 240. That should be pretty rolling. I guess I can turn off metronome views. Oh, play next sound. This should not be doing that, should it? We certainly don't need that. But we want to play it every time it changes, so I was doing half speed. Okay. Let's run that again. Lock is the same as sleep, it just doesn't turn off the screen. Okay, oh, I see what you're saying. We can try lock while it's playing and see if it keeps going. I feel like I should have to do something else. Yeah, it's more like it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you're cooking along pretty good there. And this is independent. All right, and stop, and start, and lock. Ha ha ha. Okay. Device lock. Okay. And then let's check the other side. Let's use the other I guess I gotta do it in here. How would I put these in the order I want to look at? Okay. Let's use deadline, dispatch time. All right. So, I mean, our theory was wall clock worked off the system clock and kept going, and this one works off the sort of current active clock and would pause. I mean, wall sounds better to me, but we will see. No, they don't. Neither one matters. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So I'll put it back to wall just because that made more sense to me, but apparently my theory about how the difference goes is not accurate. Surprise. Okay. If it's playing, yes. All right. Well, I'm going to check this in even though it's in pretty crappy shape. Get sound going with automatic repeat and have a way to shut it off. Okay. Now, okay, so let's clean this thing up. So right now, nobody's calling player at all, I don't think. He is out of action. Well, the only thing is, let's keep this. We will need that. So find selected text. Okay, only one of those looks like it has it to me, but I guess I'm not doing text. Capital player. Nobody else is using it. Okay, so that can go. Okay, so that no longer is needed. We'll keep those. We'll get rid of the init. That was there to activate the player. Okay, that covers those. Start, stop, view. No player. BPM. Okay. Okay. We'll run tests. Nothing we've done is affected by tests, I don't think. This has all been manually tested, and I think it's going to stay manually tested. It kind of is going to work or not. Okay. Now I'm really amazed I don't have to do some sort of synchronization here, because this thing is running off who knows where. I mean, I guess it's in the main queue, so it's probably not a problem. Whoops. All right, so delete now unused player, delete player related code and comments. Yeah, I don't have a good way to test it. I mean, other than, well, I mean, yeah, I guess the only way I would be able to test it, like a UI test could, monitoring that variable. Maybe we could do that. Set it on, set a timer to turn it off, and then modify the on change to count it or something. But yeah, it is a pain. And I think it is one of these that, like, if it doesn't work, it's very obvious in the metronome we're building. You know, when the sound wasn't playing, we had no illusions about it. Okay. Good. So let's see what's next. Okay. So, I think, well, let's just say make stop button work. That's what we've done. Kind of from a user perspective. Yeah, there's not a lot of other things going on. I mean, if you're doing, odds are if you're using it for any reason, you're probably playing your instrument while you do it. So you're not mucking around with your system trying to do stuff too much. Okay, so the aspects we don't cover, and I don't know if the division of labor is right here, but we get the beats per minute, we do nothing with it. Okay, but beats per minute, this 0.25 is really, I forget what we called it. Did we give it an extension? we did something. Oh, there it is. Yeah. We should be able to say BPM of this and turn that into that. Okay. So this is, I guess we could say BPM dot interval for BPM. Yeah, that's tolerable. Okay. Okay. Well, we probably should do some pulse of something. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a future thing. We don't have our, well, we're getting our BPMs, but we don't have our little pattern thing is not doing anything. But I wouldn't mind. I mean, honestly, I would love to show the beat of the pattern that we're on, and maybe that's not too hard. All right. So this 60 BPM should be 1 second per pulse. 1001, 2003, 2004. Okay. Now I can't do this yet, unfortunately. But if I stop. Okay. And then let's go up to 240. Okay. So those sound, I mean, to my ear, they sound about right. You know, that 120 was twice as fast as 60 and 240 is twice as fast as that. Okay. But, yeah, I mean, I would probably just change the column's background color or something like that, but maybe just overlay a semi-transparent, I don't know, green or something over top of it. All right. But I also think we can make this, bindable, which would be an improvement. Binding bar BPM of int. Okay. And then in here, give him $, BPM. All right. So that's live connected. That's good. Okay, I'll take that. After so little progress yesterday, feels good to just kind of run with it here. Okay. So that was... Cool. All right. Now, yeah, let's get the pattern going. So I think we're gonna make, yeah, let's muck with metronome a little bit. Let's make sounds is an array. Low.wave. Now, I don't know. Oh, nuts. I mean, it seems like do I really need this to be a state object? Let's take that off and see if things work. Okay. So now we're playing the mid sound. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what we... Oh, yeah, we have these 4. But again, I think if we can avoid making it a dynamic object... Yeah, okay. I like that idea, though. Let's do that. Well, there's no sound. I don't want to play an empty sound if I can avoid it. Yeah, maybe I just have to check that separately. All right, so let's do dot tick. I got them backwards. Tick. Well, is high. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. Talk. Pock. Okay. I don't remember which order I put them in vertically now. It made sense to me as names. Okay. Well, let's make another state. Is that going to help? I kind of want to pull this stuff in here. All right. Well, we're going to have to pass that down too. Let's see if we can move it down first. Cuz I think this class is really about setting it up, and this one's really the player. All right, so let's do a let. Prior, okay. And then this. I think we can attach that anywhere. Okay, so he doesn't care. BPM needs to come in. That's fine. This, I think, and when we have this, play next sound. Well, I normally pass these in first. Binding, and then the states. Timer we don't use anymore, do we? Is playing is false. Okay. Sounds. That sounds. He's accessing sound.tick. I might need a bang. Okay. See if I pulled this down. Yeah, we're gonna need a counter. Yep. Got to do modulo. All right. Start stop view. Okay, doesn't need that anymore. Start stop view initializer is inaccessible due to private collection level. Why is this all of a sudden private? I don't have. What's. Weird. They're in the same package, right? Yep. I guess I put that after all the variables. we'll have to start it more in the middle. Okay, now that's happening down here. Yep. Okay. Oop. And what's my load? Is it 2040? Okay. Okay, I thought it was pausing while I did it, but it's not. Okay, so move tick work to start stop view. Okay, so we did timing. I think that's reflected down here. Yeah. Okay. And we did the sounds. All right, but we need to play sounds according to the pattern. Okay. Oops. All right, and I guess that's more state here. So the next sound, what's the right word for this? This is the sound trigger. Okay, current sound. Well, I don't know if we need current sound. We need I think pattern index. Okay, and then that's going to be on play sound, I guess. I mean, I suppose he could keep track of the index, but it seems like this thing could just as well. Well, yeah, I don't really need this song variable. I guess I got to figure out if it's a tick or not. Well, maybe I do have to pull him out if I'm going to check him for being nothing. I think we're, well, no. There should be a way to do that with an if-let, I think. Cannot force unwrap. What sound equals pattern sub index? Isn't he? He's a sound. Oh. That's not going to work. Well, I should be able to make my sounds do it, right? Oops, sorry. It's still going. Okay, we'll refine it. We have to look at pattern index because that always is a sound. Okay, so if the sound is not dot silent, then play it. Otherwise, sound dot play. I'm gonna adjust this. All right. Sound has no member play. Oh, right. Sounds of sound dot play. This might need a, yeah. Sorry. Okay, so if I look up the current sound in the pattern index, I got one of tick-tock, pock, whatever. If the sound is not silent, I want to say sound dot play. Well, no, there's no argument at all for that case. Sounds of sound. What is sound? He's a subsonic player. And he's got a play on there. Okay, it's going to work now. All right. All right, and then, well, I can do it here. Pattern index plus equals, yeah. Okay, we're incrementing that. Okay, cannot convert value of type. Nope. Okay, good. All right, so we're working our way through the pattern index. Yeah, taking me a minute here. All right, that should be fine. Current sound is not being used. Now we're going to pick one of our sounds and play it, otherwise just do nothing. Okay. So I should be able to set a pattern and hear it. Oh no. What? What's going on here? Okay. When the sound trigger changes, we're going to move to the next. We're going to pull out the index slot move the slot forward for next time and play a sound. Well, okay. Let's change this. No. Change this to 6. Okay, what is going on? It's like it's got a silent component. Pattern index +1 mod pattern count should go. Oh, it's not pattern count. It is. I was doing all 12 pauses. I guess we got to keep numerator. Okay. Okay, and I do think they belong in the opposite order. Let's make that happen. Oh, and it didn't care about the MP3s now that we got everything else straightened out. All right, we'll... I should have taken that out too. Just make sure this is working. Now that does seem wrong, doesn't it? Low should be low and high should be high. All right, we'll stop this. We're due for a break, so let's take a break, 3 or 4 minutes. We'll come back, flip those slots back, and check this in. Welcome back. All right, we said we're going to update this to something. I'll try 100 default value for beats per minute. And then I was going to switch the sounds back on this. Low and high. And I think I got rid of the print, so let's make sure that's all true. A 100. I didn't think that would be updated between there, but I guess it is. It's changing the state and redrawing because it depends on it. Okay, anything else? All right. Yeah, maybe my names are not the best names. Maybe this should be kick. I mean, it really is like a kick a drum, boom, 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 or a boom. But kick, tick, tick, tock, kick sounds just as alliterative to me as the other. So let's just rename that to kick. I don't think it matters. I think the fact is it's a low sound, a medium sound, and a high sound. Now, they don't sound equal to me, so I think we need to check something there. Also, I don't know if we're paying... I guess our tick is not taking into account the length of the sounds, but the effect of them could be different. I think I have a metronome on here. All right, and I think just like that is probably... Okay, so I got this is at 125. But he's not doing it. No. Well, I have a metronome. It has a little, I don't know if you can see, a little circle that's flashing. Oh. Hang on. It's coming out on my wife's Bluetooth headphones instead of us. There it goes.
Yeah, that's that sound.
Okay. They're a little off. Okay. Whether one's more right or the other, I don't know. We'll treat it as close enough. Yeah, this thing, it flashes. I guess it's flashing the column, and then maybe the first beat gets the bottom bar too, or something. I don't know. Seems like it's the first two beats. And then there's a little, I don't know, kind of wheel or something that's spinning around in a circular way. I don't know what that means. Okay. But I think for us, well, this is good. And let's take it. So we make the pattern update so different sounds play. Okay. All right. And okay. And then the next thing is we do want to have some sort of highlight while it bounces around between its stages. Okay. And That's really pattern index. So I think we're going to make that a binding coming in so that the top level can see it too. Pattern index is an int. I don't know if there's a better name. Step, beat, I don't know. Because it's kind of off. You say beat 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't say beat 0, 1, 2, 3, but we're going to do 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now we got to modify this. I guess the state counts. And then the call. I'm going to say beat. Well. Extra argument. Return from initial. Oh, yeah. And I guess just to put something out, we'll put text of beat. Maybe beat plus 1. Yeah. I'm going to pay for having organized things by rows, I think. Huh. What is wrong? Is that screwing things up? Is re-rendering the view each time the beat changes. Yes. But Y is only... Maybe this MIDI or WAV file versus MP3 is doing that. I don't know. None of those play. High or low doesn't matter. I don't get it. Well, let's yeah, let's just do that. Let's get these. Get Audacity up again. I guess we got to look at all of them. That kick is a little bit, I don't know, a little bit strong for my mic or my speakers here. And I don't understand. Oh, is this thing not maximized? Oh, okay. There's assets. Where are the sounds? Oh, yeah. Okay, let's get this first. Low.wave. He takes 0.4 is really what he needs. Mid. Oh, well, 0.4 is long. If our beat is 240, we got 0.25 is the maximum length. Okay, so, well, that makes me wonder. So if I do this, I think they're kind of stepping on each other a little. Yeah, I definitely hear a little. Yep. Okay, whoops. Well, I had other ones. Maybe I should look at those and see if one of those will be better. Low, mid, and high. Okay. Like if I cut this off 0.02. Oh, 0.02. That's not so bad. Okay, that's. But this one's 0.4. So he really is a standout too long. Yeah, we need to crop the silence. That's definitely throwing some of it off. Let's do that. And I don't know, what is he, 0.03, 0.05? I'll maybe cut him off a little early. But this guy, ooh, okay. I don't know, there's probably an effect that will do the job. Change the speed. Yeah, let's try that. So I'm going to cut him off here. And let's change the speed. Speed multiplier. Affecting both tempo and pitch. No, there's a way to do it so I don't affect. No. Nope. Effect. Change tempo without changing pitch. Okay. Percent length from 40 to, let's try 20. I don't know if it did it or not. He's a little less thunky. He's still only 0.05. Huh. I don't think he's doing the whole thing. Okay, let's export this. Export as wave. I guess that's the first question: is does he actually do that? Let's put him in downloads. Okay. Let's see how that goes. Okay, Metronome view. Okay. Yeah, getting rid of that silence at the beginning was good. Maybe there'll be a little less thunkiness with the sound on the low. What his original format was. Okay. Let me try 32-bit. And I don't think it matters a ton to get these completely right. It's definitely something I can tweak as we go. Okay. Yeah. Still a bit of a spike in that bass, the kick bass. Let's do the let's try this again. I'll see the okay. Well, I think it's worth exporting them all to 32-bit and see how that goes. All right, high is done. No. All right, low. Yeah, I don't know what the originals are. Yeah, you're probably right. They're probably 16-bit anyway. Okay. I don't care for that kick. Okay. Well, I'll leave it on my own to-do list. Look for a better low sound. Okay. So we're playing sounds by the pattern. We did that. Trim and update sounds. And then now we want to highlight by the pattern. Okay. Now that is probably this. Yeah, I mean, we could give them some options there. I mean, it's just sort of, if you have to do a little trimming and this and thatting, I don't want to put in a sound editor, and you're on a phone, it's a little harder to get the sounds in, but it could be a future option. I mean, it could be we offer, wood block sounds and tubular bells. I don't know. Some choices. I don't know. The kick drum is a little bit. I think that version of it is not so great, but I think even just in general, it's a little bit intrusive, maybe. But I do think I should turn off. Let's see this. I think maybe we should. Let's just set it to something so they have that. I don't know. I could almost even predefine the values. Maybe that would be better. Kick, duck. Just to mix them up. Okay. Because I think if it starts out and it's all blank and nothing happens, like that's annoying. Kick, duck, duck, tick, kick, duck, duck, tick. That sounds okay for a 4/4. 6/8's a little bit different. Boom, dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. 12/8 ag, that gets so rare they can play with it themselves. And I can't accommodate 4 beats versus 3 beats, so that's a little tricky too. 6. Well, maybe I could make this a kick. I'll swap these two around. Okay, let's check that out. All right, but the real work has got to be in sound grid view. Okay, let's see what 12 sounds like. Yeah, I think that's okay. It'll get them thinking. Oh, did that stop when I moved off the screen? Yeah, good. Okay, I don't think it'll restart. No. Okay. So what sound grid view got going? Well, I guess he's going to have the pattern if he's going to find out what to do, right? So binding to beats. Beat index. Oops. Okay, so he's got a numerator in the beats. Well, pattern beats. I don't know. Maybe beats is the way to say it. And then you know which beat you're on in the beats. Okay, but we need the beat too. Okay. No, we haven't done that yet either. Let's not forget that. Okay. So I almost think that needs to be nullable. Well, we've got beat index. I think we're going to have to make that -1 maybe. All right. So I guess well, how do we modify this color? Sound color. Yeah, I guess it comes to what we want to do. I could only flash the one that's actually ticking, the cell. I could lay a color over this whole thing, like a very slightly opaque white or black. That's okay. Yeah, let's do that. Dot color multiply. It's only available on view. I guess if beat index equals beat, then we're going to do dot black. I don't know what the effect of all this will be, but we'll get something going. Okay. And then beat should be $beat. No, he should not. That should just be a beat. An int. It makes a lot more work for him, but I think it'll be something. All right, and then beat index. Well, let's start him at -1, which nobody equals. All right, and then start stop sets him to 0. Else if it stopped, let's set him back to -1. Okay, I don't know. Getting complicated. I don't know if I can compare a nullable int versus an int. All right, so everything's at -1 now. I got them flipped again. Okay, so color multiplied by black. Whoa. How did he get that? Well, let's just do min p 0, sorry, max. I think it was when it was turning off, or we would have noticed it before. Yeah, I guess off is turning it to -1. Could be right on that last beat. It's still a toss-up as to who gets there first. Wait a minute. Something's off. The tick tick is showing on the last two. All right, let me play with the color first. All right, so I think, okay, if let's multiply black dot opacity 0.05 or white. And maybe I should multiply by our brown or something. I guess I went the wrong way. Yeah, maybe we should do 50. I don't know. I don't have good intuition. So, I mean, I'm sort of multiplying the whole thing by that ratio, right? Yeah. I forget our color names. Man, definitely it's a little weird when it turns off. Okay. Yeah, 'cause that color's green. Green and the white squares will multiply. Yeah, I am puzzled. Maybe I'll just set opacity and do it that way. That'll be okay. Yeah, something's wrong. Okay, I can kind of live with that. I don't know. So opacity, I mean, the brown is shining through on the beat. It might be more interesting to only make it on the ones that are set, but let's see that again. I mean, it looks like it's moving horizontally. Let's try 50. Yeah, I think something is off on that because it seems like it's not highlighting the one that's actually beating. Maybe it's highlighting the one that beat just before or just after. I guess the first beat's the most critical, so let's look at that. Now, I thought kick was on the bottom. Is that not right? I mean, here, this is the row corresponds to the thing. I maybe... I mean, he's doing the tick, then the talk, then the kick. I don't think that affects this. Yeah, I think this and stop should turn off the opacity. So I don't know what's going on there. But okay, let's add the highlighting. Well, it's updated sounds. Add highlighting during use. Okay. But very suspicious. Okay, and I think I've got something backwards now. I mean, I changed something upside down, so something else should change. All right. So let's see. The kick. These are done by sound. That thing. Yeah, kick should be low. This should be high. So maybe that did it. I don't know. Seemed like it was off. One off though. Yeah. Okay. I think that's... Is it going one off every time? I don't know. All right. Why is it a one off? Okay. So am I off here? Beat index. So this is going to be 0 to the numerator. Let's see. I thought I updated it afterwards. I start off 0. Do we update it? Where do we update it? Only in the play? Yeah, so I'm choosing my sound based on beat, and then beat plus 1. The text output I deleted, but yeah, that one did beat plus 1. But the things seem to be... Does beat control? Yeah. So, I think the sound, when it changes, it updates the beat index to the next one, and then the redisplay comes in and draws the grid with that future beat. Should I update it first? I think the sound is playing the right beat because it does it in 52. I think it changes beat to 1, like it starts at 0, changes beat to 1 in 53. The sound stuff finishes. We're back to the whole content view, and it says, hey, the beat number has changed. The grid better redraw itself. And now beat is 1, so the grid's redrawing with 1. And it doesn't... Yeah, I think I'm going to have to do that. Which maybe means the 0 minus 1 is probably okay to start with. I probably don't need to do this. This I probably should. Yeah. Okay, so let's try this. Now this can never be minus 1. Yep. Now that's not updating. Wait. I don't really have to care. But now I edit this. That looks goofy. Why did that minus 1 not take? Okay. That shouldn't be able to happen anymore. But start stop view sets beat to -1 when you hit the stop button. I guess sound trigger doesn't change. We do have it as a binding in here, right? Wouldn't work otherwise. Okay. I'm not sure. I mean, the thing I could do is this kind of thing. It might be worth doing. So I'm going to force one more cycle of the run loop rather than letting it go. I'll take it as a theory and we'll see. Is going on? Well, I can get... Okay, that didn't matter. Whoops. I'm going to do this as goofy, but it's to check the theory, I guess. I don't know. It's like the unchanged sound. I don't know. I mean, different languages do it differently, so I always have to look it up. I think this will stop better and then break. Yeah. Okay. Well, that may be a thing to solve tomorrow. I'm not going to leave it at -2. Because I think somehow we get into sound grid. Maybe it is playing. He doesn't know it. Yeah, it's something about being called one last time, and I think we do the reset, and he sets it to -1, and then the on change comes in one last time and says increment. We can check that. Oh, it crashed. So okay, let's do that. Squeak out an extra minute here. So my theory is that it's going to force it to column 1 every time. Okay, that did. Yeah. Right. So, yeah. So something like that's going on. It resets it to -1. The on change gets one more crack at things and says, oh, I better increment that to 0, and then shows the beat, and the beat's already been updated. It doesn't have to update the grid anymore. So All right. Well, we will tackle that tomorrow. We've made good progress today. I think the big thing was kind of what we realized first thing. Well, yesterday, flipping it per your suggestion so that the sounds play on the main thread in the main metronome view. I think that got us the possibility to move the rest of the way. That was one thing. Then we had the thing about the frame count kind of interacting with the delay, kind of interacting with the thread sleep and all that stuff. We simplified that away, and that helped and prevented that race condition. We still have some tweaking to do, but I think we're very close on this. I don't think there was saving the info. That's something I can do offline, but I think if we get those two things banged out tomorrow, that'll wrap this one up. I have another tool. It's very experimental in my mind, so we may just play around with some without commitment to doing it. We'll see. I do feel like I need to get at least my daughter looking at this and deciding like what's the next thing to do, and when do we start trying to release. And if we're ready to release, like with the metronome done, I could definitely release that. I mean, honestly, every tool we add is just one more incremental thing. We could have released it after the first story that just showed the news. That would be something. But there is another story. I'd like to have badges to indicate updates. Okay, so if the news page changes, I think the news tile should get a little badge on it. Maybe the app itself should get a little badge if any of these things change, but I think things like that are worth it. If we update the jam log, like the song list, I think you should get a check there too. So probably need to check if it's playing before updating the beat. Yeah. All right. We'll have to do some sort of data checksum or something, but I think we can do it. And I think, that's maybe not a must-have to release, but it's something I would really like to see, to give, if there's something changed, people get a little notice, but not be in their face every day like some apps. All right. Well, thanks for joining today. Especially, I was happy to finish things. It's looking pretty grim there for a while. And back tomorrow, 2 to 4:30 Eastern, 7 to 9:30 p.m. UTC. And have a good night. Bye-bye.